At this time, for those who are able, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for opening prayer. This afternoon's invocation is offered by Noah Weiss. Let us pray.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to play this game in your glory. We ask that you be with both sides as they prepare to play. Be with them, protect them from injury, allow them to feel your presence. Be with the referees and spectators as well to help them glorify your name in this place. We pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Today's game features number 6 seed, Grace Christian University from Wyoming, Michigan.
It's time for the second of our consolation semifinals here at the NCCAA D2 Men's Basketball Tournament. I'm Mike Peden back here at the Clark Danielson Gymnasium. It's Bob Jones and Grace Christian. Bob Jones lost to Harrodsburg yesterday. He just wasn't able to recover from a big deficit they suffered early. They ended up losing 84-70 as we take a look at the starters for Grace Christian, which include 4 scholar athletes: Ty Thiel, Parker New, Melvin Frazier, Ethan Clausen, and Nathan Blasco. For Bob Jones, it's Elijah Couples, Kenny Garrick, Camden Gearhart, Hayes Brush, and Trevor Brunson. Grace Christian lost a close one with North Central. Just didn't have enough gas at the end. Shot the ball at a slightly lower clip than North Central, but Parker New 8 away from 1,000, so he is nearing a milestone. And like we said, a lot of scholar athletes in this field. Blasco, Clausen, New, and Zach York from Grace Christian. Connor Barfield and Hayes Brush, scholar athletes this year in Division II. And Burton Uraro, the National Coach of the Year. The awards were announced prior to the tournament. And as the starters are being officially introduced on the floor, Kansas Christian will await the winner of this game, and the loser will be eliminated from the tournament. So everyone is playing for one more day. Grace Christian wearing the black and navy blue. Bob Jones as the 2 seed wearing the white. We are just underway. Catch and shoot 3. Laces through the net. It's Trevor Brunson, the 6'5" junior out of Ramseur, North Carolina. And he gets us started. Grace Christian says, right back at you. It's Ty Thiel. And we start the game trading 3-pointers. Bounce pass over to Camden Gearhart. Goes cross court, now behind to Hayes Brush. Drive by Brunson comes up awry.
Bruins ball. Now we're the game for the Bruins. Number 21, Chad Vanderhart.
Still early. And we're still sorting each other out here. Lob to Hayes Brush. And the lane opened up for Shad Vanderhart, who checked in early. So Shad is on the board. He had a solid game yesterday. Grace Christian trying a three from the left corner. That doesn't drop. Couples. Another quick set inside. Shad Vanderhart missed the first attempt and was blocked on the second by Parker New. This is Melvin Frazier. The kick out. 3-ball. Corner pocket. Ty Thiel scores. And we've got a quick timeout. Just 2 minutes and 6 seconds into the game. 6-5 our score in the second consolation semifinal. Grace Christian with a 1-point lead. Some notables from yesterday's game on the Grace Christian side. They had 4 players in double digits, led by Ty Thiel with 19 points, 8 rebounds. Frazier and Clausen had 13, New with 11. We'll see how they can follow up their performance yesterday here as the teams work to play one more day. Melvin Frazier gets the takeaway. Another 3 for Thiel. This one bounces off the back iron. Rebound gathered by Kenny Garrick. Garrick, one of the top players for Bob Jones. That 3 off the mark from Elijah Couples.
Will be Tigers ball. Now entering the game for the Bruins.
Grace Christian will get possession. Kenny Garrick and Couples both made the all-region first team for Bob Jones. And they both had solid games. Now Melvin Frazier wants the 3. Grace Christian working the perimeter so far. Frazier lost it, and amidst the scramble, it was Gearhart who came up with it. On the take was Brush, and he was swatted away, I believe, by Blasco. Side fade, but too many steps on the shuffle by Ethan Clausen. So we remain at 6-5. Bob Jones swings it around. Now they fire from the corner. That 3 from Brush is short. Garrick slings it to the right wing. Brunson having some trouble hanging on to it. He got pushed as he straddled the baseline, so a foul will be issued against the Tigers of Grace Christian. Grace Christian out of Wyoming.
His first team first.
Bob Jones out of Greenville, South Carolina. I should point out Wyoming, Michigan, not the state of Wyoming for Grace Christian. Still 6-5. We're seeing a 2-1-2 right now for Bob Jones. That suits Clausen just fine as he sinks the three. Grace Christian has shot exclusively behind the arc. We'll see if that holds up. Again, when you zone up, that usually pushes teams to the outside. Another takeaway, though, for Grace Christian. This time it's Ty Thiel who snatches the pass. Side fade, pull up from the elbow, short. Rebound Couples. Couples turns it around. The kick out, the three. Doesn't land. Another rebound for Ty Thiel. He is providing an active presence in the early stages of this one. A couple of threes, a couple of steals. That pass missed the mark. 14:39 left in the first half, 9-5 the score.
And here again for Grace Christian, number 44, Zach York.
Pulling up from 13 was Garrick, and he missed the mark. Frazier. Bob Jones still in their 2-1-2. Working his way along the baseline is Parker New, one of the 4 scholar athletes from Grace Christian this year.
His first team first.
Yesterday's game, New had 11 points, went 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And again, closing in on 1,000 points. He needs 8 more to do it. Grace Christian won their last 10 games of the season prior to this tournament. New will take the split. Couples to Brunson. Pass knocked away. It will stay with Grace Christian. 10-5 the score. At the tournament where ring chasing and king chasing converge. We've been highlighting the king chasing theme throughout this tournament, which included a service project for Feed My Starving Children, but
5-second violation on the Bruins.
Bob Jones unable to service the ball inbounds before the 5-second call. Every team prior to the tournament took part in that project, which again benefited Feed My Starving Children. Just one of the many ways these players you see are more than just the numbers you read in box scores. Taking the three is Grace Christian. They'll give it another try. This time it's Clausen who laces it through the nets once more. Clausen has 2 threes. And it's a 13-5 advantage for Grace Christian. They are 4 of 7 from three-point range in the early going. Can it stay that way? We shall see. Garrick trying to get inside the lane. Could not get through. Frazier. Bob Jones with the block in transition. Garrick one-on-one. The spin move. Had to back off. That might have cost him, but an offensive rebound gives the Bruins another try. Brunson to Garrick. Garrick again. Yes! Garrick's on the board. (13-8) the score. New hacked on the way up. He'll go back to the line to shoot 2.
number 21, Chad Vanderhart, his first team second.
Vanderhart hit with the foul. New split his last time up.
Now entering the game for the Bruins, number 1, Gonzalez County, and number 4, Hayes Rush.
Parker New, the 6'6" senior out of Traverse City, Michigan.
Number 15, Becky
What
Lomari.
is his final ride, I presume? Blanks at the line. Rebound collected by Vanderhart, so an empty possession for Grace Christian. Again, these two hoping to play one more day. Cross-court skip leads to a three-point try from New, but it overshot the mark considerably. We're seeing a lot of zone formations between the two contenders here. A fake for Pouncey. Wanted to kick back out, and instead throws it away.
Now entering the game for the Bruins, number 24, Dylan Harris.
11:40 left in the first half, 13-8 the score.
Entering the game for the Tigers.
We'll have our championship semifinals following this game. York to Thiel. Bankies Omari was trying to connect with Clayton Roberts. Instead, Garrick brings the ball up following the turnover. A tight one so far. Rush in the low post. He's cut off and ends up throwing it away. Pouncey will pick it up for the backcourt violation.
Tigers ball.
But like we saw in that first game where Arlington Baptist, a team that was oh so close in both of their games, just came up short, but it's a reminder that these consolation games do mean something for these players. Cross-court skip intercepted by Garrick. They're still getting after it as if it was the quarterfinal, semifinal, or championship. They don't want to leave anything behind. They don't want to feel like they left something more to be desired. They want to end the season and in some cases end their playing careers the way they started. Your call for the foul. We're going to see Dylan Harris, the political science major, shoot free throws out of Lexington, South Carolina. Harris did not make a single field goal in the first game, just had a single free throw. He gets both free throws here to make it 13-10. Touch three, long. That was Bankies Omari from Germantown, Maryland. Brunson to Pouncey. Harris turns around and took a couple too many steps on that attempt.
Now entering the game for Grace Christian, number 1, J.T. Martin.
York lost track of his teammates. Well, was following along. It looked like Grace Christian was going to run a passing set, and York went cross court, except nobody was there. Brunson. The brush back to Brunson. There's 4 inside, 1 out. And a tough elbow J by Brunson, but he gets his own miss. Bounces it over to Dylan Harris. It's Pouncey. His 3 is long. Rebound, J.T. Martinson out of Big Rapids, Michigan. Touch 3. Not there. Pouncey jumps up for the rebound. Brunson. The skip and the layup by Dylan Harris, who picks up his first field goal of the tournament. (13-12). 3 on the way. Swish. J.T. Martinson with a touch of deception before finding the touch on that stroke. Brush to Garrick for 3. You bet. Kenny Garrick, the 6'4" senior out of Covington, Georgia. Steal on the inbound. And free throws coming for Hayes Brush, thanks to his deft use of anticipation. We'll take another look at the last play as the two teams will talk it over with the timeout on the floor. Hayes Brush will shoot free throws when we come back. 8:32 left in the first half.
For the NCCAA Men's Basketball Championship Tournament.
At Truett Seminary Faith and Sports Institute, Christian leaders in sports are equipped through theological education, practical training, and useful resources. You can join an online or residential graduate degree program, gain continuing education certificates, and participate in character and leadership practicums. Start your journey today at Baylor.edu/Truett/FSI. That's Baylor.edu/Truett/FSI. 15-15 is the score. We're working out a slight discrepancy on the live stats, but I think we'll get that corrected before long. I'm going off the board here, and it's 15-15. Hayes Brush to the line, a sport management and coaching major out of Greer, South Carolina. And Brush, one of the 2 scholar athletes on this year's awards list. He had 11 points. And 3 rebounds. He was 3 for 3 from the free throw line yesterday. He makes both here, and that will make it a 17-15 score in favor of Bob Jones. Okay, the live stats have been corrected. One of the 3s was ruled a 2. That's a 3, but it's long. Rebound Brush. In any event, Bob Jones, after trailing 13-5, they're on a 12-2 run to get in front. They were the 2 seed, but again, if you watched yesterday's game, they found themselves in a big hole against Harrodsburg. They trailed by 18 at the half and just could not make that run. But Kenny Garrick takes a run to the rim, and it's now a 14-2 run for Bob Jones. Ball lost. Pouncey catches up to it, but nobody's there. Well, that happens sometimes. It happens to the best of us, or in my case, it would happen about 99% of the time. These athletes, no matter the level, you can see the heart, the hustle, the effort. All these young men and women. Remember the women's tournament going on at Crown College. Well, to prove they belong, and I'd say they would. But right now, Grace Christian having some trouble. Both sides having trouble hanging on to the ball right now. A couple of turnovers on sets for Grace Christian, and Bob Jones has coughed it up in transition the last couple of possessions. In fact, Grace Christian already has 10 turnovers, 11 now, and Bob Jones has 9. And we still have 7:20 left in the first half. Grace Christian had to look inside. They go back out. They'll take the long two. That's JT Martinson, who uses every last inch of his reach to earn himself a chance for 3. Martinson, the 6'4 junior out of Big Rapids, Michigan. Let's take another look at what second chance efforts can bring you. Tipped it to himself. And when you do that, you've got yourself a savory bunny waiting for the taking. No three-point play for Martinson. He had 3 points and 5 rebounds in yesterday's game with North Central. 19-17 the score. Again, the winner will play at 2 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, right here at North Central University. Dribble drive, too strong, but getting his own miss was Hayes Brush. Gets another one. Garrick for 3. It's there. 22-17. That is undoubtedly a 3. Kenny Garrick with a couple of trays in this one. Martinson with the answer. You bet. Martinson up to 7. 22-20. Harris with the kick out. Taken away by Grace Christian. It's Jacorian Freeman who catches up to the ball in time. Jacorian out of Dallas, Texas. Last year's host for the Women's Final Four and frequent host for a lot of marquee basketball events. Garrick pulls up and hits the short-range bunny. Kenny Garrick Jr. with a quick 13 points. 24-22. Well, the board has him at 13. The live stats, they've got him at 12. I'll go off the live stat feed for now. Either way, Kenny Garrick is putting up a lot of points in the early going. Martinson cannot hit that 3, but an offensive rebound gives the Tigers another chance to pounce. And pounce they do with Gavin Fisher out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grace Christian going for the steal. That gave Garrick an opening, but he did not quite have the angle on that run to the rim. Frazier going to Martinson in the corner. Freeman used up the dribble, looking for help. Under 5 to play in the first half. Frazier's got it. Whoops. Right idea, just with a little too much oomph on that. But again, it happens to the best of us. Not even the greatest players were always perfect. Shake it off, next play. That's what many coaches and players past and present will tell you. And no time to slouch with just a 1-point game. How about that reverse? Elijah Couples dropping a nifty bucket in the Bob Jones column. Omari to Frazier. Freeman lost his footing and traveled. Bob Jones trying to maneuver underneath once more. In a tight game, Bob Jones leads by 1, 26-25. Kenny Garrick Jr. had 18 points yesterday. He already has 12 here and has found his touch in both games so far of this tournament. He was 6 of 10 from the floor, 5 of 8 here, but it's Grace Christian with a chance. And Jacorian Freeman comes up big again. Freeman with 4 off the bench. (27-26). Brunson. Now Garrick. Vanderhart around the baseline. Makes it work. Chad Vanderhart has a couple of field goals now. Frazier. Touch 3. Doesn't go in for Grace Christian. Kenny Garrick Jr. got the rebound. There's a Gowdy stat line already. Here's a 3. It goes in and a chance for 4. Awaits Trevor Brunson. How did this happen? Let's find out. That was Elijah Couples who scored. I stand corrected. It was Brunson who set him up. Okay, a foul occurred away from the ball. That's what happened. So Couples hits the 3, and Bob Jones takes over. The foul was away from the ball, not in the act of shooting. But Chad Vanderhart can't make it a 5-point play. However, because of that Couples 3, it is a 31-27 advantage for Bob Jones. One of those rarities. We saw something like this yesterday as Jacorian Freeman attacks, comes up short, where if there's a foul and it occurs after the shots, it will still count, but then the foul will be tallied depending on who made it. The lob inside to a cutting Vanderhart. And that is definitely a shooting foul. And Chad Vanderhart will go to the line. Vanderhart with 4 points. Again, had a limited role offensively in yesterday's contest. 6 points, 4 rebounds. This is his first trip to the free throw line of the tournament. And as he completes this trip, we'll remind you our championship semifinals will take place at 5 and 7. It's a split for Vanderhart. 1:56 left in the first half, and Grace Christian out of fouls to give here. The time is winding down in this first half. Frazier out. Now it's Blasco. That's Parker New who gets the post up. His first field goal of the game. And now 5 away from 1,000. Bob Jones answers on the other end. Elijah Couples with the penetration move. Just over a minute left in a game that has been tight. Touch 3. Whipped it slightly right. A foul. And it will go against Grace Christian, based on the body language, yes.
Tigers number 5, Parker New.
New hit with his second personal. He'll check out with 58.6 on the clock. Don't want to risk having him foul out. Chad Vanderhart back to the line. He split his last time up. He's got 5 points in this one. And even though the margin is tight, there is one area of separation that is becoming prominent. Grace Christian, just 1 of 5 from the free throw line. Bob Jones, after this strip by Vanderhart, 7 of 8.
Now moving into the room, number 50, Campus Gerhardt.
Free throws, not the flashiest way to score. Certainly not the flashiest way, not featured on the highlight reels. But 7 of 8 versus 1 of 5, that adds up in a game as tight as this one, where most of the other metrics have been fairly even. Side fade, 3 on the way. It's too strong. That was Clausen. Couples to Brush. Gerhardt. Bob Jones swings it to the corner. That was Brunson. His 3 was short. Frazier. Around one defender, the driving kick. And making sure he was behind the line was Garrick. He'll get another try to beat the buzzer, but it's too high. And Bob Jones, after trailing 13-5, they lead 36-29 at halftime thanks to some pinpoint free throw shooting and a blazing start by Kenny Garrick Jr. We'll go over the first half in more detail as we continue live coverage of the NCCAA Division II Men's Basketball Tournament. Bob Jones leads Grace Christian by 7 in the consolation semifinal.
I chose Grace Christian University because it's a small campus and it's like family.
Christ is really at the center here. I feel the Christian influence of it is really important to me.
This is a really good place to grow and to learn, and it's also a good place to fail, and you have really good supports behind you.
Pick somewhere where people are going to care about you. Pick somewhere where people want to watch you grow as a person, grow as a student, grow as a family member, grow as a friend.
In the heart of the Midwest is a college that's different, where students work for their education instead of paying tuition, where teaching Christian character is just as important as academics, and where future leaders learn from world leaders. A college where our love for America is celebrated by preparing students to take their role in American history. This is College of the Ozarks, and this is where lives are changed.
Making the right choice about college begins with parents asking the right questions about college. At boyscollege.com/questions, you will learn the 9 issues Christian parents need to consider. Go to boyscollege.com/questions. A lifetime of faithfulness in preaching, in teaching, in discipling, and in counseling begins with an education that is trusted for truth. Find the theological degree that best fits your ministry goals at sbts.edu/faithful.
Crown College is a boldly Christian college located in Minnesota on 215 acres of land. We pride ourselves in the pursuit of excellence, not only in academics, but in chapel, the student experience, and athletics. Students can pick from one of our 30 majors, compete in one of our 18 sports, and participate in student activities each week. Come visit us on one of our visit days or schedule a private visit and let your experience speak for itself.
In the heart of the Midwest is a college that's different, where students work for their education instead of paying tuition, where teaching Christian character is just as important as academics, and where future leaders learn from world leaders. A college where our love for America is celebrated by preparing students to take their role in American history. This is College of the Ozarks, and this is where lives are changed.
It's halftime here at North Central University. Grace Christian and Bob Jones in the consolation semifinal. Bob Jones with a 7-point lead. And you look at the stat line, it is just about even with what you see on the screen. Bob Jones does have the edge in three-point field goals. Able to get a slight edge there. 5 of 10, 6 of 18 for Grace Christian. Again, Grace went to the perimeter more often to try to get around that zone defense early on. What you don't see, and I think another telling statistic, Bob Jones 7 of 8 from the free throw line, Grace Christian 1 of 5. And in a game as close as this one, all of those small differences can make a big impact later on. Grace Christian -3 in turnovers as well. Points off turnovers about even. Kenny Garrick Jr., 12 points and 3 steals to lead Bob Jones. He really got the offense up and running. Elijah Couples with 7 points and Chad Vanderhart with 7 off the bench for Bob Jones. Grace Christian, they are led by JT Martinson, also coming off the bench. He's got 7 points. Thiel and Clausen have 6. But for Grace Christian, I think the key is going to be hitting a few more of these shots, whether it's three-pointers or free throws. They've been right there. Remember, they started the game with a 13-5 edge before dropping to a 7-point deficit. a lot can happen, and these two haven't been able to get a whole lot of separation yet. We'll see if that changes in the second half. We'll come back to give you the second half of our consolation semifinal right here on the NCCAA Network as we continue live coverage of the NCCAA Division II Men's Basketball Tournament. (36-29) as we're ready to start the second half. Mike Peden with you. We've got a couple of championship semifinals to follow, and they should be some good ones. Crown and Spurgeon, Harrodsburg and North Central. Harrodsburg, the lone low seed to make it through to the semis. Crown and Spurgeon, we'll see how that plays out with the National Player of the Year going up against the 1 seed who had a breezy quarterfinal round yesterday. As we are back to action here at the tournament where ring chasing and king chasing converge. Here's a 3 for York. It's short. Rebound gathered by Brush. Brunson over to Couples. Garrick wanted to lob it inside to Gearhart, but he was pushed from behind. That's why the pass wasn't online, and the officials spotted that and issued the foul. Gearhart collecting the inbound after Couples looked like he was having some trouble finding an open man. Gearhart, with that lateral movement, races in for the bucket. That's his first bucket, his first points of this game. Again, the winner moves on to the consolation championship, the 5th place game. A high-low lob to New, and he lays it in for Grace Christian. The loser of this game is eliminated from the tournament, so we'll have 3 games tomorrow, 5th place, 3rd place, and the championship. Brunson, driving kick, out to Couples. Garrick. Gearhart, the kick out, 3-ball corner pocket. Hayes Brush, the sport management coaching major out of Greer, South Carolina, the graduate student, makes it a 10-point game, the largest lead for Bob Jones. New. Got tied into a jump ball, and locking him up was Elijah Couples. Gearhart out of the baseline, 5 to shoot. Had the ball poked away by Zach York, who draws the foul.
Bruins number 50, Camden Gearhart. His second, team first.
If you just joined us, Grace Christian led 13-5 early. Since then, Bob Jones has held the lead. And they may extend it here after the steal. And the run out by Elijah Couples. He's got 9. Couples had 15 points in yesterday's game, but he didn't shoot all that well. 5 of 14. Faring a little better here. 9 points, 4 of 5 from the floor. Long skip, nearly got away from Thiel. He goes across. And pulling up near the elbow is Clausen. Clausen with 8. But Grace Christian trying to hang on. Garrick from the key is fouled. He'll shoot 2. Garrick, 12 points, 4 steals.
Tigers number 44, Zach York.
He had just 1 steal in the game with Harrodsburg yesterday. And a reminder, with the king chasing, we've been talking about that. What is that about? It's used in the NCCAA, which helps lay a foundation of seeking Christ first. The program uses 4 values of the game plan for life: love, integrity, faith, and excellence, to enhance the purpose of collegiate athletics to be more than winning championships. Kenny Garrick making both free throws. That puts him up to 14 on our live stats feed. Grace Christian will take over on the kickball, 45-33. And Garrick certainly has a chance to be one of the notable names from this tournament, even if Bob Jones isn't competing in the championship bracket. His signature has been all over this one as Bob Jones looks to extend this lead. Garrick pulls up, drains the 3. Kenny Garrick Jr., the senior from Covington, Georgia, makes it a 15-point margin. Handoff, 3 on the way. Grace Christian says, right back at you. It's Ethan Clausen. But Bob Jones slowly pulling away from Grace Christian, hoping to reserve one more day here in Minneapolis. They lead by 12. .15:39 left in the second half. Kenny Garrick Jr. He is up to 17 points, 6 of 9 from the floor, following up a brilliant performance yesterday when he was 6 of 10. If you're curious, he has crossed the 20-point mark 3 times this season. And overall has performed admirably. His field goal percentage coming in 51.9, and Bob Jones had a lot of sharpshooters. Brunson 51.1, Vanderhart 63%. This was, again, coming into the tournament. So the members on this Bob Jones team, they know how to make the most of their opportunities. Not volume shooters per se, guys who can score efficiently. Pouncey. Couples, now Vanderhart on the take. Chad Vanderhart with 9 points. Coming in, he was averaging 12 per game, or something to that effect. On the other end, Ty Thiel scores for Grace Christian. Some of the stats are tabulated separately, so Vanderhart is listed twice in the season standings. Garrick looking to list another three-pointer. Can't quite do so. In any case, Chad Vanderhart, one thing's for sure, he has been remarkably accurate. And a more active role certainly helping Bob Jones here. But Frazier out of Wyoming, Michigan, helping the Grace Christian cause with the corner three. Garrick lobs it over to Pouncey. Turnaround, swish. It's Couples. And he remains red hot. 5 of 6, 11 points. Bob Jones in a 2-3 right now. Frazier out to Clausen. The three's offline. Garrick gets the rebound and is fouled, or did he make the motion? Okay, it wasn't on either one. It was on Camden Gearhart. Called for the push. That's his third, so it will stay Grace Christian ball. They'll get another 20 seconds. (52-41). New three ball, corner pocket. And if we are tabulating our stats correctly, that three gives Parker New 1,000 for his career. He had 11 yesterday. He was 19 away entering the tournament, so 11 and 8 adds up to 19. Tostadas Pouncey adding up a three-pointer on the Bob Jones side. The perimeter strokes dropping for several players right now. New threads it inside to Thiel. It's a give and go, and New takes it in. New up to 10. Parker New, one of the 4 scholar athletes, and got plenty of high marks for his contributions this season. Pouncey, living up to his name, from Ludowici, Georgia. Here's another look at the last play. And you see what happened. Pouncey making lemonade out of lemons. It looked like Harris wanted to lob it up the middle, but the pass got away. Pouncey, with nobody on him, able to swoop in, catch the errant ball, and stride into the rim. A 3-point play for the junior and sport management major. Makes it 58-46. Pouncey's got 6 now. Kick ball, we'll try this again. York to Klassen. Cross-court skip as Thiel was guarded heavily. Now New gets doubled. That's one benefit of his zone. You can close in on ball handlers as Thiel throws up the long 2. Klassen gets his own miss. Finds Thiel on the... No, that's York on the backdoor play. Either way, it's a bucket for Grace Christian and the first for York in this game. Pouncey. Brunson with a couple of touches. Harris. Couples for 3. Might have tried to draw the foul there. Bob Jones hustles after the loose ball. They'll get another chance. Brunson fakes the kick out. Now Couples lobs it underneath to Dylan Harris. Another second chance bucket. Bob Jones keeping Grace Christian at bay. Neither side has gone on any significant runs in the second half. York into a wall. Harris comes up with the pick, and he will take it all the way for 2. I think he wanted to slam it either way. Dylan Harris. A respectable performance off the bench. He's got 7. Yesterday's game wasn't much of a factor. No field goals. New for 3. That rims out. Rebound. Brunson. Drive and kick. Pouncey, 3 ball. That would have given the Bob Jones fans something to cheer about. But they still have a 14-point lead. York scores the transition layup and will go to the line for 3. Zach York, one of the 4 scholar athletes on this year's award list for Grace Christian, the 6'2 junior out of Millington, Michigan.
Number 1, J.T. Martin, and number 15, Yankees Omari.
It's a village in Tuscola County. I was about to say Tuscaloosa. It's Tuscola County, located right on the tip of that mitten area that the lower peninsula of Michigan is known for. The glove, as it's referred to, or the mitten, however you call it. More of a mitten than a glove. Anyway, it's 62-51 as York gloves a 3-point play in his hand. Bob Jones coughs that one up as Couples could not get in position in time to receive it from Klassen. Bob Jones takes a 30-second timeout. We'll take one as well. You're watching live coverage on the NCCAA Network. 62-51. Bob Jones over Grace Christian. Again, neither side has gone on any significant run. Bob Jones has been able to keep Grace Christian at bay. We've got a three from the corner. Frazier can't knock it down. Rebound, tipped. That was some vertical on the part of Clausen. He stands at 6 feet. Seems taller, though. Or I should say that was Harris at 6'6". That would make more sense, wouldn't it? 9.5 to play. Taking the three is Brunson. That's Couples, I should say. And he got hacked on the way up. Couples with 11 points. This will be his first trip to the free throw line. And he will shoot these free throws when we come back, as we've got a timeout on the floor. You're watching the NCCAA Division II men's basketball tournament. D2 Men's Basketball National Championship gear is available online. Find t-shirts, sweatshirts, pullovers, and more with the option to personalize the design. Shop today at championshipgear.com. Free throws coming up for Elijah Couples, who has 11 points, 5 of 7 from the floor. In yesterday's game, again, he was 5 of 14. Even though he managed 15 points, you can tell there's a significant difference between 5 and 14 and 5 and 7 when it comes to field goal shooting. And Bob Jones, they have continued to shoot the three at a solid clip. They are 50%. Free throws, another advantage in their favor, 10 of 11. Grace Christian just 2 of 6. As Couples goes to the line. And that miss notwithstanding, I mentioned this before, as Couples splits. So 11 of 13. What that means is, more often than not, you're making those points count. And Grace Christian, they haven't been to the line all that much. The zone defense can prevent that from happening by cutting off driving lanes. Bob Jones still in that 2-3. But you look at a game and all the things that could have gone your way, those missed free throws, well, there haven't been many, could add up. Shot clock winding down, and a tough shot for Benki's Omari. Couples biding his time. Now Brunson to Kenny Garrick. He's got 17. Couples fouled again, and they give him the shooting motion. A frustrated Melvin Frazier slaps the court after he's called for a second foul. Couples split his last time up. And I'm looking at the numbers here. Bob Jones shooting 50% from the floor in the second half so far. They are 10 of 13. That is 76.9. I don't think you can get much more efficient than that. And they continue to make their shots count at the free throw line. 65-51. High-low, nearly taken away, but that's going to open things up. Possibly. Martinson will ultimately go to the line after Clayton Roberts missed the second try. Martinson out of Big Rapids, Michigan.
Bruins number 4, his first team score.
Martinson missed a three-point play chance. He'll take a split there, 65-52 with 8:11 left in the second half. A reminder, we'll have the championship semifinals. Starting at 5 and going to 7. York hits the deck. Brunson. The turnaround gets the roll. Shades of what we saw yesterday in the North Central game. Athletes using every bit of their reach. Banky's Omari drops in his first field goal. It's a 3 to make it 67-55. But right now, Bob Jones continues to shoot the lights out in the second half. And as the saying goes, when you shoot well, you look good. Vanderhart fouled. He'll shoot 2. And if you're new to the sport, if you're fouled on a field goal attempt, they do not count it in the stat line. So Vanderhart, who is 3 for 4, will try to add to those numbers here. And again, Vanderhart was good for about 9-10 points per game in the regular season. One of the many sharpshooters on the floor. His free throw shooting almost as well, I should say equally proficient. The metrics are a little different at the line. He shoots around the mid-80s entering this tournament. They'll have to take a split here. So he's 4 of 6. But the volume and the accuracy for Bob Jones still more than enough. They're 14 of 17. Grace Christian 3 of 8. That's an 11-point difference at the line. The kick out, Martinson, 3 ball. That lips off the front iron. Gearhart with the board. Garrick, he launches. Can't connect. Offensive rebound for Brush. They swing it back out to him on the left side. Now he moves in. Dead ball rebound to Grace Christian after Brush had a couple of cracks at it. He has been the one starter who hasn't had a productive game offensively. He does have 8 rebounds, though. And again, Bob Jones, they are still nursing a 13-point lead, doing plenty of good. Omari, his 3, bounces away. Grace Christian in a jam. They'll take a timeout. 6:22 left in the second half. But Bob Jones and their lights-out shooting in the second half still pacing this one. Quick timeout for Grace Christian. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second half. Neither side has gone on any big runs. Grace Christian, they'll need to generate one if they want to extend their weekend stay to tomorrow. Shot clock running out. Martinson rises up and banks in a tough contested shot. JT Martinson having a terrific performance off the bench, but Grace Christian has to find a way to stop the ever so accurate shooting. It looked like Kenny Garrick, someone just slightly tugged his jersey as he misses the drive. On the other end, Frazier scoops it in. Melvin Frazier, his second field goal. 68-59, margin within 10. Garrick cut off. Faking the three is Brush. He dumps it down to Gearhart. And the ball went off of Martinson's head for a moment, but it ultimately goes into Frazier's grip. And then he has it stripped away. Couples foul. That was a frenetic sequence. The foul means Grace Christian is out of fouls to give. Bob Jones will be in the bonus the rest of the way. And Elijah Couples heads to the line. He's 3 of 4. And a reminder, you can watch this game as well as every other game from this tournament and the women's tournament on demand at NCCAAnetwork.com or through the NCCAA Network app on your TV streaming device. Couples gets the front end to fall. Certainly one of the marquee figures of this tournament, and if Bob Jones extends their stay to a third day, if there's an all-tournament team, I think Couples would get consideration. It's Brunson who comes up with the steal there. Gearhart out to Brunson. Working the lane. But he could not break free of Clayton Roberts. 4:32 left in the second half. Both teams with 4 timeouts left. And Bob Jones still has 2 fouls to give. Off the inbound, it's Brush. And if there was anyone who was due for a positive play, it was him. He had just 1 field goal before that inbound layup. And while it won't bump up his percentage that much, it could be a backbreaker for Bob Jones, and that's what counts for them. Trying to shake off that upset loss yesterday and give Burton Uraro the National Coach of the Year and this Bob Jones group one more day here in Minneapolis. Foul was called on Couples, but Bob Jones gets in the cookie jar once more, and Couples will go to the line. You can't believe it. He believed he should have put that one in, but that's all right. He has done quite well from the free throw line today. His 4th steal. He and Garrick have 4 each. Couples, his stat line right now reads 14-4-4-4 on our stat page here. Now 15-4-4-4. That is 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Again, our championship semifinals start at approximately 5 p.m. Crown and Spurgeon will go first. And you can watch that game right here on the NCCAA Network as Couples sinks both. 16 points for the senior out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. Pulling up for the elbow J is Martinson. He has played admirably today off the bench for Grace Christian, but will it be enough? (74-59). It looked like there was some pandemonium briefly on the inbound, but Brush did find Couples. Bob Jones, that field goal percentage in the second half has ticked down a bit, but it's going to tick up in a big way as Brunson extended his reach to ensure the basket would go through. Takeaway by Brush. He's got a step, lobs it to Brunson. And Bob Jones has just about sealed the date in Saturday's fifth place game. They lead by 19. Frazier, the turnaround, got it. Grace Christian will take a timeout, but with 2:54 left, trailing by 17, I just don't know if there's enough time for the Tigers to conjure up one last gasp. We'll be back in a moment. A reminder to stay tuned after this game is final for our play of the game. And for Bob Jones, you could say the turning point was bouncing back from that early 13-5 deficit. Sometimes one team makes a run, another will go on a counter run. Grace Christian went on that run to start the game. After that, Bob Jones took over. And they have not looked back. They are still shooting an impressive 60.9% in the second half. More than enough to outpace with the extra pass. What a beauty. Pouncey, the Brush. And after a slow start for Brush, he has come up with some nice plays to close out, including that steal and assist a couple plays ago. And the layup off a brilliant feed from Pouncey just a moment ago. Bob Jones will have a date with Kansas Christian in our fifth place game. And Grace Christian, their run will come to an end here. Elbow J goes in for Clausen, but not enough time with just 2 minutes left. But Parker New did get over 1,000 points, so he'll close out his college career with 4 digits next to his name. Clausen goes up to 13 with that last bucket. Grace Christian, you got to give them a tip of the hat. They played North Central close. Ty Thiel had a great game in the quarterfinal round. As Bob Jones is working the clock here, a pull-up three. That would have been icing on the cake for Hayes Brush, but that's all right. They will be icing up a victory here in just a moment. Ty Thiel drops a three. He goes up to 11. Pouncey will go to the line. Tostatis, the 5'10 junior out of Ludowici, Georgia. It's 1-1, although it's academic here. Bob Jones, they were the 2 seed. And had a pretty good resume coming in. Best record in history, 19-4, undefeated at home. Had a 13-game winning streak. Couples and Brush both crossed 1,000 earlier this year. And while that won't culminate in a championship, it will culminate in one more day. Like we said, to anyone who thinks these games don't have meaning, you see what Bob Jones did here in the second half. You saw how Kansas Christian was able to hang on. News scored the last bucket for Grace Christian, we should add. And he and so many other seniors, Thiel, Frazier, Blasco, this will be it for them. But it's always an honor to make it into the Final Eight. And sometimes it doesn't go your way. But as we've been talking about throughout the tournament, there is more to this than just a game. Bob Jones will run out the clock. And the Bruins have finalized the date. We get a handshake already between Brush and Thiel. Everyone congratulating each other as the Bruins of Bob Jones University pick up their 20th win of the season. 82-68 the final. Kenny Garrett Jr. leads with 17 points. Elijah Couples with 16. And Hayes Brush, not the best day for him shooting-wise, but he'll finish with 9 points and 11 rebounds. That's not too shabby. 20 of 23 from the free throw line. One of many metrics helping Bob Jones get this victory. With that, it's time for our play of the game. We got to go back to early in the second half. One of the many triples that Bob Jones converted. This one from Hayes Brush. A tad ironic since he was only 3 of 11, but an important one at that. Bob Jones, 44% from three-point range, and they finish the second half with a 60% clip from the floor. More than enough to keep Grace Christian at bay. 82-68 the final. We move on to the championship semifinals. Join us again at about 5 p.m. for Crown College, the 1 seed, and Spurgeon College, the 4 seed, who has the reigning National Player of the Year, as we continue live coverage of the NCCAA Division II Men's Tournament right here on the NCCAA